Hello African Pilot viewers, I've had a fantastic 2 days here at the National Aviation Conference hosted by SACAA. Papi, a great 2 days. What has been the key takeaway for you?
So Philippa, the past 2 days have been absolutely amazing. This conference started in 2019 and I'm so happy to see that it's still continuing to grow. One could wish we can cover the entire spectrum of civil aviation, but 2 days is short. The key themes that stood out for me, particularly as the discussions were unfolding yesterday and today, firstly is the issue of sustainable aviation fuels and the need to diversify our fuel. And as you would have heard our minister indicating that ICAO just recently conducted a business implementation study for South Africa to look at how can we produce and distribute sustainable aviation fuels. And of course, that study is quite telling, and the minister is processing it together with her counterparts. And I look forward to that, because when we have geopolitical conflicts, as we have seen, one of the things that would suffer the most is aviation fuel. And when aviation fuel is in the supply and demand issue, when the demand is high but the supply is low, it means that one way or the other there's going to be a fuel hikes, which has a negative impact on the propensity for people to want to fly, because people start prioritizing. To elevate the discussion to the level at which it was discussed for the purposes of sustainability was indeed a key highlight, and I look forward to what will happen in the next few months as we really take the implementation forward of the business implementation study, of course guided properly by our government. The second one was the one of today about the issues of mental health, and to what extent are we dealing with mental health. As you would understand and know, civil aviation is a very sensitive industry. There is literally no room for error, and therefore the mental well-being of the pilots, of air traffic controllers, of cabin crews, of aircraft maintenance engineers, and the whole value chain is absolutely important. But it's such conversations where we create awareness to say, if you're not feeling well, it's okay to say, today I cannot take this flight. And it gives the management of that organization an ability to mitigate against risks. And we are also saying to the organizations or the operators who employ these very critical professionals, a room and the space, so create that conducive environment where if an aviation professional is not feeling well, or there's a mental health issue that they're grappling with, we need to have, I would say, grace, to give them, space to report without being punitive, because one of the prohibitors that disallow people from coming out and say, I have a problem, I have a crisis, it's because of this punitive nature, of the environment where profits seem to be, prioritized over the well-being of the professionals. So to me, that was one of the key takeaways. And of course, the issues of artificial intelligence, the issues of cybersecurity, as new innovative technologies come into play, what is it that you are doing?
Firstly, congratulations, your latest safety ratings. Tell me more about that. I think it's
We're very excited about that. Very exciting news.
Extremely proud, I'm sure.
We are, and we have, as South Africa, a reason to be proud. Indeed, South Africa has enjoyed a very good safety record on commercial scheduled airliners, where we haven't had a major hull loss on the South African soil. And that is a testimony of the collaborative work between the regulator and the industry, but also the foresight for our government in terms of putting the right systems in place to ensure that there are checks and balances. We have the regulator that has strengthened its oversight, systems over many years.
Yes.
We wouldn't be here if it wasn't because of that. So from a regulatory perspective, I think we're doing very well. In fact, ICAO was even saying that South Africa, you can in fact be a model to other African countries. We did exceptionally well when we compare to the results of 2023, where we were at 91.23%, and we are now at 95% and ranking number 7 globally as a country that has a very good, safety posture. And I think as South Africans, let's celebrate this win. It's not a win of a regulator, it's not a win of government, it's a win of the entire sector.